the choices made, the task is set. Into the woods, but not forgetting why we're on the journey. Into the woods to get our wish, I don't care how the time is now.
Into the Woods is a collection of fairy tales, basically, put together. The fairy tales originated from the Grimm brothers. And so those include, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah. And that's all paired with, their storylines are all completely intertwined with that of another family, the baker and the baker's wife, as well as the witch and a mysterious man, and two princes, and it's an intermingling of all those storylines put together and woven so that they all have a specific purpose for venturing into the woods, title and name, to achieve something that they've been wishing for.
I play the witch, and she is definitely an evil character, but she's a lot more human than she gets credit for, because although she is wicked and has these powers that she like strikes people with and that kind of thing, and like curses people with, she has a lot of love, and she's very lonely, which is the reason why she is so evil and why she keeps her lovely Rapunzel up in a tower for Rapunzel's entire life.
I play Rapunzel, and she's like a really interesting character because even though she's a classic fairy tale princess that a lot of people know and love the story of, she has a huge downward spiral in this show, and yeah, it contributes to the whole message of like, there's no such thing as happily ever after.
So I'm playing the narrator, which is super fun because I get to, you know, kind of oversee this entire story and move it along. And for this show, my character is not really the fun storybook character that previous shows have done and used the narrator for. It's a much more like I'm controlling what's happening, and I'm changing the story, you know, a little bit like this, a little bit like that, just to make it the way I want it, which is a little bit darker and a little bit more twisted for the characters.
I think a lot of the time, Into the Woods is definitely, you know, put on a lot, and it's definitely something that, you know, most people are going to be familiar with, at least the title. And I think we kind of wanted the challenge of making it different than all of those other performances.
So a lot of the designs are inspired by like the director's use of like the words like raw and like organic. So we really tried to make things look as like natural but fairy tale as possible.
Originally, we started going off of designs from the Regency period, which is a time in Europe where there are a lot of specific waistlines for females and males and tailored pants, and then we kind of also wanted to bring in an aspect of fantasy. So we took from different fairy tales, pieces of history, and kind of morphed them all together.
And we also kind of strove to get away from your classic Disney look, just because the show isn't like classic Disney. It's a lot darker and it's a lot more, there's just a lot more going on. So we, you know, we kind of broke from that and gave the costumes like a darker feel to echo the theme.
I think that also with this, there is, especially with this show being such a very iconic show, that with very iconic characters, especially from fairy tales that are very well known, we get to reintroduce the audience to our versions of these characters.
It's a wonderful way to look at something as familiar as fairy tales in a whole new light.